I have a couple of questions. I wrote them down for Trump supporters that I seriously want. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. I want to know who the voters are who you think you guys are bringing on board to vote for Donald Trump in November with the various things that you've been going after Kamala Harris's vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz, with, governor of Minnesota. By disingenuously attacking his military record and lying about it, what's the segment of voters in America that you think, upon hearing that, is like, that's it? I was going to vote for Kamala Harris, but now I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. Who are those people? And similarly, who are the voters that you think are going to come on board with Trump's campaign when, and I see you guys in my comments every day, man. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz single-handedly burned down the city of Minneapolis in the spring of 2020 during the Black Lives Matter protests following the murder of George Floyd, an unarmed black man, by Minneapolis police. He refused to call the National Guard. He burned the city down. He watched as the city burnt to the ground. But yet, there's a recording of a telephone call from Donald Trump. He was president then. All of that happened during Donald Trump's presidency. Where did he call in the National Guard? But there was a phone call from Donald Trump to a bunch of governors, and Donald Trump singled out Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to say what an amazing job that he had done, that he had sent in the National Guard, that he had done it quickly, and that the National Guard had dominated, Trump's word, they had dominated the streets of Minneapolis and brought the riots to an immediate halt. Donald Trump even tried to take credit for the job that Tim Walz did in responding to riots and protests in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So when you lie about that, what voters are you trying to get? Is it just racists because it was a BLM protest? I'm just curious. And when you guys come after him and call him Tampon Tim and say that he single-handedly legislated that tampons were going to be in boys' restrooms in schools throughout the state of Minnesota, which never happened. There were never tampons in boys' restrooms. And if you disagree with me, please point to the line in that legislation, the language that requires tampons to be in boys' restrooms, K through 12. It's not there, never happened. They were in unisex bathrooms. They were in girls' restrooms. They were readily available to school administration and school nurses and people like that. Because I've got thousands of women in my comments who are just telling horror stories about those products were not available to me at my school when I was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. And they got their period unexpectedly in the middle of the school day and suffered horrific embarrassment and ridicule. And you guys think there should be more of that. Women in my comments think Tampon Tim is an amazing nickname and signifies to them how much Tim Walz cares about women and girls and wants to make sure that they're taken care of as much as they can be relative to their periods and their menstrual cycles. So who are you trying to win over with Tampon Tim? And Donald Trump keeps saying the same thing over and over relative to Tim Walz. He's very heavy into transgender. Huh? He's very heavy into Never mind. I'll skip that one. And then the only one I got left is like, you guys decided to counter accusations of being creepy and weird by bringing a gallon of horse semen into the conversation. What voters are you targeting when you bring up a gallon of horse semen? Okay, if you guys could let me know the answers to those in the comments, I would very much appreciate it. Thank you. Hope you have a great Saturday.